Hey y'all, it's Vicky and welcome to another video. Today is Friday and it's the 19th of September 2025 and it is 60 degrees, 90% humidity, 3 miles per hour wind. As you can see, the wind is not blowing. Okay, so we're going to get into it today. Okay, I may have jumped the gun yesterday with my short, talking about, people riding by Tim's camp, his home, whatever. And, y'all, I guess it's the motherly instinct coming out in me, even though I know that all of y'all are my age or, close to it. But it's just the motherly instinct in me coming out that says that, and because I've been watching Tim for so long now, I think it's 3 years now, that I just feel it's in your best interest that you not do it. But I can't stop you from doing it. It's just me. It's like I said, it's just the motherly instinct coming out of me. Also, I know there are some rules regarding YouTube and doing such stuff. So I think that's a slippery slope. I don't know exactly what they say, but I know I've seen some live streamers, and I know that Tim doesn't go live. So I've just seen people approached when they're live. I mean, in a forceful way. And I'm not saying that Stuart's like that or anybody else. All I'm saying is that it's possible for Tim to turn it around. Unless he's videoing it or something like that. And I know he's videoed it, and I don't want to get into it really big, but, I apologize to Stuart if I made him, feel uncomfortable or anything like that. After I saw Dinger's video, I'm thinking, well, y'all know how I feel about riding around. I said something to Dan when he did it down there, and I know it's a public road, all that good stuff, but if Stuart's got business out there, it's a different story. If he's delivering to somebody there, that's totally different, and I understand that. But as I said before, you never know what can happen. And y'all know that Tim always says you can't believe a word I say. So you don't really know what the truth is sometimes when he says stuff. So anyway, we're going to drop it from that and we're going to move on. I welcome Stuart to the community, and I want to see him do some cooking and whatever else he wants to put up. One thing, Stuart, I will tell you is there are several vloggers in Pigeon Forge. If you've not watched them, you probably have, but the ones that I like, that I think would be friendly towards you and could help you out if you wanted help. I agree with Darling. You don't need to go out here and buy all these fancy equipment. I mean, maybe later on if your channel grows, fine, but to begin with, don't worry about the lighting. People fuss about sound. I have a big mouth. My voice carries, so I don't use a mic that often. Now, if I'm going to be outside, like if I could do vlog tomorrow, because I'm thinking about it, but we're going to see how I feel, then I would wear a mic. But just here in the car, I don't, because I did that one time and everybody's like, no, don't do that again. But it's because my voice carries. And of course, on the Rogue, there's a mic in the Rogue. So I don't need another one in there. All right. Now, what I'm saying is that the two that I would recommend if you wanted to try to email them or anything like that is Adventure is out there. Ryan and Bree, I think, are great people, and I don't think they're intimidated by other YouTubers at all. Tampa J, he's another one. I don't think he's intimidated by other YouTubers, and I think he encourages people. I encourage anybody that wants to start a channel to start. I'm not intimidated by other YouTubers. I've always said, I don't understand why Tim gets the views he does, but that's not for me to try to understand. Obviously people like him. they keep viewing, or they keep viewing him for some reason. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of anyone. I want everyone to succeed. I believe this platform is big enough that we can all be successful in our own ways, whatever that may be, because success is different to a lot of people. Some people, you know, they want to become YouTube stars, and they tell everybody in the world they're a YouTube star. I don't ever tell anybody that I meet that I do YouTube. Now, I've caught Dave telling them, but I keep telling him, I've told him not to do it anymore, and I don't think he will once I told him. If it comes up in conversation later on, you know, somebody comes up to me and, you know, asks me, what am I doing, filming wise, that's different. But I don't say subscribe to my channel to people I meet out here on the street. I mean, I just think that's going too far, but that's me. Obviously, Tim doesn't. He thinks that everybody should know he's a YouTube star. I don't really think he's a YouTube star. I guess he's a successful YouTuber in the sense that he's monetized. He makes decent money. He's had a video to go viral, maybe 2 if you really want to go technical. So, I mean, yes, he's much more successful at it than me. But that don't mean that I can't tell you what I feel is a way to grow. And the way I think it easiest to grow is just film. Just film. Don't worry about the technicalities of it to start with. But once you get, on up and you're monetized and, you can start putting money back into it, then I say you can buy equipment if that's what you want to do. But the cameras on the phones these days are just as good, just about as you can get out here. All right. Now, let's talk about Tim. So he did that hiking. Now, I don't think he was out there very long on that hike. Now, as I said before, I'm not downing him for the hiking. If that's what he wants to do, that's fine. And I'm going to insert a picture here of what he wore yesterday. Now, y'all know I am a fashionista at times. I believe there is an attire that you wear when you hike. And I'm not telling Tim to go out here. Well, I guess I am in a way. But he looks like a golfer hiking. I'm like, no one's going to think he's a hiker if they see him out there. And here he is standing on the side of the road. He needs to just go ahead and say, this is a Reebok golf shirt from Walmart. And I don't know what kind of shorts he's wearing, and I'm sure they're from Walmart. And just be done with it and say what the water is and say where he got it. Then when he went to Cherokee. And don't even get me started on this. I didn't even bring that up, and I'm glad now I didn't. But y'all know how I feel about this. Cherokee and saw the elk. I mean, you would have thought he would have seen Bigfoot, the way he was acting. The elk has been over in Cherokee for a long time. The government reintroduced the elk to that area, and since then they have thrived over there. I would say you're going to see the elk there. If you go over there and you go in that little, and even if you go anywhere in Cherokee, I just about bet you're going to see elk. That's how much they've multiplied in years. I've yet to see a bear over there. As y'all know, I've never seen a live bear in the wild. And I want to. Don't ask me why, but I want to see one in the wild. So anyway, I think he thought, I don't know what. And to me, he acted like he had just seen Bigfoot. And that's just me making fun of him, I guess. Anyway, I don't like the way he kind of was talking about Cherokee and that it was the same. He's talking about those shops that are there, right in the hub of it all. Because they're not chain stores, they are locally owned businesses that's been there a long time. Of course, sometimes they change owners. There's several restaurants there. There's one that's open that's supposed to be really good there, locally owned, and has great food, have great breakfast, and great sandwiches and other things. I can't remember the name of it. I tell you who to watch if you want to know more about Cherokee as far as just the area, and that is Fridays Forever. They go into Cherokee quite a bit. And then he was talking about that there wasn't anybody there. That's not true. You're there during the week. You're there after school starts back. So naturally the crowd is not going to be as large. I mean, even the crowd in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge is not as big during the week after school starts. Now, on the weekends, yes, it picks up. On the weekends in Cherokee, it picks up, especially until it turns cold. Now, I turned it off. I don't know if you ever went by the casino. Of course, I've stayed at that casino several times. It's a casino, y'all. It's nothing. I mean, it's nice for the area, but it's a casino. It's the way the people over there earn an income. And, you know, I don't know if he took you by the hospital, but their hospital is one of the... Now, I'll tell you, Peter Santatorium, whatever his name is, I'll try to remember the link below. He has a good video on Cherokee. You know, he talks to them about how much money they make from that casino. They do well, especially the children, because they can't get their money until they're older. So, you know, I mean, you could take that money and go to school and, you know, be whatever you want to be. Now, some of them choose to spend it, you know, not very wisely, like someone else. But anyway, the casino is the way they earn money. All right. What else did I want to put him down for? The couple that he talked to on that path. I just don't understand him, why he will talk to certain people and he won't talk to others. Like, well, let's say Stuart. Why? And I said this yesterday. Why did he all of a sudden ghost him? The reason I think is when Stuart started commenting maybe on some of our channels, then that probably ticked him off. And then when he started asking him told him that he wanted to do a YouTube channel, I think that's where Tim started his backing away, because Tim is afraid. The only way he'll help anybody out is you hand him money. And maybe that's the way he thinks it should be. I don't. Why not help somebody out? He's all the time talking about, giving back. We'll give back to the YouTube community. Help somebody else getting started, because, I just don't understand it, y'all. I just don't. And maybe it's not supposed to be. Maybe I'm not supposed to understand. And maybe I need to quit trying. All right, what else have I watched? I did see where Nomadic Fanatic put up a video, but I've not watched it. The Yankee in the South parody channels. Y'all, I tell you, none of us have ever come down on Tim or beat up on Tim as far as parody videos like they do Yankee in the South. And, sometimes I can't watch it because I just think they're going too far. And there's one channel that he's just gross and I don't watch him anymore. But the other one, he has cut back on the length of the video. He's doing them shorter. And I know Dawn has had a hard life. I don't know that much about Will. But the only thing I will say is I don't know that Dawn is having a good time filming anymore. That's the only thing I'm going to say. When they were at Dollywood the other day for the unveiling of the ride, she did not act happy. And that's the only thing that worries me, is that is Will forcing her to film when she don't really want to film? That's all I'm saying. And if he is, and you know, he needs to stop it. If she don't want to film, he should not be making her. And I'm not saying that she may not want to film altogether. It's just that maybe that minute maybe that day she just didn't want to be on camera. Well, he could film without her being on camera. We know that. So anyway, that's all I'll say about that. You know, I do like to watch their videos. I do think they do a good cruise video. I mean, they are interesting, I think, but you know, I've never heard them really give a good review of a restaurant. And the other thing is, Will is always saying he don't eat that many burgers, but every time they go out, he eats a burger. You know, or they doing food reviews, and I'm like, can you not expand? Okay, and I know you're going to say, well, you don't do restaurant videos. Well, no, because I'll be eating the same thing. So it's ridiculous for me to film. If you're going to film food reviews, you know, another thing, and I don't like to say this, I know that y'all going to get tired of this, but I do think that Ryan and Bree of Adventure Is Out There does a good food review. Now, they're the type, though, that they're not going to beat something up. They're going to say they don't like it, or they're going to give it, you know, like a 5 instead of a 10, stuff like that. So, but you'll know by their reaction whether, and I know that Ryan tries to edit the video to where they're not eating, you know, on camera. It's just they took the bite, he cuts it, and they go back. Because some people just don't want to see other people eating. Now, Tampa J went a little bit too far the other day on his barbecue video. He should have cut a lot of that out. But that's just me talking about people that I watch, because I am a lover of YouTube. I love to watch different people. It comes from the fact that when I go to a NASCAR race, I spend more time watching people than I probably do the race. Just being real. I just like to watch people. Now, this weekend, we're racing in New Hampshire, and WWE has WrestlePalooza, which is absolutely ridiculous name, but whatever. And there's a lot of talk. Are people going to be able to watch it? I have ESPN, so I'm assuming I get to watch it. But if I have to pay extra, then I won't be watching, because I just think that's ridiculous. I got to go, y'all. This video's almost too long. Wearing my cherry shirt today. I haven't worn it. I've had it for I don't know how long. I forget it's there. But I wore it today because I thought, you know, in the summer I felt it would be too hot because it is a thick cotton. But now it's not so bad. All right. Gotta go, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. And I think this came from Temu. I don't know. I'll try to find it. If I can't, then you'll know that. Because, you know, the Temu stuff, I just don't order anymore much because don't need it. And you're having to pay a lot more for shipping. And I'm not getting into all that. So I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye. Have a good weekend.